Hi, this is Karen Barno, and welcome to my lesson number 3 on shadow discussions. Today's shadow discussion is going to revolve around stories, and it's the stories that we tell ourselves. Because keep in mind, the shadow is the piece of you that someone or something that you didn't like or someone didn't like about you, so when you were younger, they were like, we don't like that part about you, and you bury it within yourself. And again, truly in your shadow is where your gold lies. It's where your passion, where you're supposed to be doing lies. So that's why we take time to look into the shadow. So one of the ways you can look at your shadows is the stories you tell yourself. Have you ever sat around, especially with the holidays coming, Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, and you and your siblings and your parents, and you start talking about a particular story? You know, maybe it's going shopping at the mall, and you have 3 siblings and yourself and your parents, and everybody remembers shopping at the mall as being a fun day, and you got to go sit on Santa Claus's lap, and you had fun, and you went out to lunch, and it was a wonderful day. But for you, you remember it as being awful, that lunch was poor, that you were miserable, that nobody treated you well, nothing went right. It's because that was the story you told yourself. Now maybe what happened was kind of in between. Everybody remembers the fun because your siblings were older, they had fun with Santa. When it was your time with Santa, you got really scared because you were too young to understand the concept of sitting on Santa's lap or the concept of meeting somebody you'd never met before. So it was a emotionally fearful time for you, which clouded your whole day, and you, as you got older, made it worse and worse. Another example is I have a friend of mine that when she was growing up, she was young, and there was a issue in the neighborhood. There was actually a fire. That the house 3 homes down caught on fire. So everybody went running outside to see what they could do. She was too young, so she remained in the house. Now she was in no way in harm's way, but her memory of it was everybody, there was a fire, and everybody ran outside and left her inside unprotected. So she took that to mean that they didn't love her and they didn't care about her security. That wasn't true at all. The fire was a couple doors down. She was safe. It was really the people running out to try to help the family at the fire. But that was the story she took out of it. So for years, she felt very insecure, very unloved, very unprotected. Once she realized she was able to go back to that moment and say, wait a second, they did love me because they were protecting me. She was able to help erase that shadow and be able to move forward. So look at the stories you tell yourself. If you have a story that always pops up, if you're trying to look at a shadow, if you're trying to figure out, why do I do that? And you always seem to remember this one moment in time, then that's what you need to look at. You need to evaluate that moment. Another example I like to use, and if you don't know me, you know I always have stories and examples. When I was growing up, we used to go to an amusement park once a year. My dad worked at Westinghouse years ago. We all went to Conneaut Lake years and years and years ago. At the time, when I was there and I was by myself, I had siblings and everybody, but just at that exact moment in time, I was alone. I wasn't scared, no big deal. But right in front of me was a ride, and the ride got into an accident. The car jumped the track. It was a bad outcome. I'm still not a big fan of amusement parks, but for years I told everybody, oh, I saw people get killed. I was telling my story to my sister in Disneyland this year, and she goes, what are you talking about? They didn't die. I said, they died. They had the ambulance. She goes, no, Karen, they didn't die. They were fine. I mean, I don't think they were fine, but in my mind, because I was all alone, there was nobody there, I'd extrapolate what I could out of the situation, which was amusement parks are scary places. Don't ever be alone in an amusement park, because when you're alone, bad things happen and people die. Those are my 3 takeaways. Now, I still honestly don't like to be alone in amusement parks. Now, I know it's a shadow and it's goofy, but it's how I am. So always look at stories that keep popping up. You know, if you think, why am I afraid of this? Or why am I afraid of that? Or why isn't this working? You can figure that out and help erase that shadow. Once you get rid of your shadows, your world will be awesome, I'm telling you. So start doing the shadow work. If you need help, let me know. Stay on my Facebook page. I'm always posting stuff about shadows. Go to my website. You can do any of that. Again, I'm at KarenBarno.com. and again, my Facebook page. Until next week, thank you, and remember, your shadow lies within the stories you tell yourself. Have a great day.